The United States officially announced on Wednesday that it will send depleted uranium tank munitions to Ukraine. These shells give Kiev the ability to punch holes in Russian armor and fragments can ignite inside. The Pentagon said the 120 mm ammunition is for the upcoming American M1 Abrams tanks. The Biden administration has announced plans to send depleted uranium-piercing tank shells to Ukraine. This powerful ammunition not only gives Kiev the ability to punch holes in Russian armor, but also the ability to deal additional damage inside enemy vehicles, as parts potentially catch fire. The Pentagon has listed 120 mm depleted uranium tank ammunition as part of a $175 million security aid package, which was officially announced on Wednesday. The announcement coincided with a surprise visit to Kiev by U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. These depleted uranium shells will be fired from American M1 Abrams tanks scheduled to arrive in Ukraine this fall. The U.S. announced earlier this year that it will ship older but refurbished M1A1 variants on an expedited timeline to Kiev, and Ukrainian soldiers spent the summer training on Abrams tanks in Germany. Depleted uranium is a dense and somewhat radioactive material that the U.S. military first began using to manufacture tank armor, mortar shells, and ammunition decades ago. The material is particularly useful when used to make piercing rods for tank shells because sharpens when it hits enemy armor, allowing to pierce the vehicle's hard outer shell. Bullets made from other materials tend to cork like mushrooms upon impact. The material is also pyrophoric, meaning the penetrating target heats up as it enters the vehicle and small dust and particles can ignite or even start a fire. This is an event characterized by high heat and pressure, and the amount of damage it can do inside a tank or armored vehicle is quite large, especially when firing a stockpile of ammunition. U.S. Air Force National Guard explosive ordnance disposal technicians safely prepare multiple contaminated and compromised depleted uranium rounds at the UT Tooele Army Depot on June 23, 2022. Photo of U.S. Air National Guard Staff SGT. Nicholas Perez. A tank tour is all about getting inside tank, piercing armor, getting into crew compartment and destroying tank, said retired U.S. Army Lieutenant General Thomas Spoehr, who served in Army for decades with 1st Armored Corps Division, told Insider before. Since launch of these rounds, there have been concerns about the environmental and health effects of depleted uranium, which has reportedly sparked earlier discussions in Washington about whether United States should send munitions to Ukraine. During the nuclear enrichment process, highly radioactive uranium called U-235, used to make nuclear weapons, extracted from natural uranium ore. A byproduct of this process is depleted uranium, which contains relatively low levels of radiation and poses no major threat to an individual's health unless a Lar.